You may or may not have heard the story before. More than likely, you haven't. What if I told you that Dream claimed some posts that he would like to distance himself from were made by somebody with his account, but not him? What if I told you that Dream is now suspected of pulling his own John Swan? So what I have here by itself is really no big deal. This is just a bunch of innocuous, non-edgy pro-Trump tweets, stuff like this. Fun fact, Trump will win in 2020. No Russia collusion. Biden isn't going to run. Booming economy, unemployment, North Korea, ISIS being defeated, incumbent. He will win. Yes, he has many more supporters and people who would vote for him than you'd think. Sorry, I said tweets before. I meant Reddit post. Too much Bobacks, I guess. I want to read you a little more, and this is about, I think it's about Colin Kaepernick. One is making a statement that politics and football should be separate. The other is allowing employees to make political statement. Only one of those allows politics and football, not both. They do not allow a lot of political things like wearing political armbands. However, they allow kneeling. You can't allow some and not others. That is a political statement. A cut and dry rule saying everyone does the same thing is fine. So you're probably asking yourself, like, well, why am I showing you? What is this? Well, apparently, and the account is not in question. The account that wrote these belong to Dream. And it's really strange how he's handling it now. Now, all these were posted back in April, and I'm shocked to this day, even though shout out to Matt Pitt, he did try to get my attention with this. It didn't actually get more momentum at the time, coming off the John Swan trauma. Now, apparently this account did belong to Dream. Again, it's not in question, and it's now been deleted. Apparently, it was a very active user in the subreddit, The Donald. The Donald was eventually purged along with several users, and this was one of the accounts. But keep in mind, I haven't found as of yet anything edgy. They seem to be typical sort of Trump Republican talking points. So in the last 12 months, Dream has been the biggest growing YouTuber that I've ever seen, and probably the most popular one currently on the platform. He's courted a much different audience, and he's gonna pander to them. This is interesting. Just to clear up some extra confusion, because the tweet I made was confusing due to the character limit, the Reddit account that was being shared around was an account that was shared between an IRL friend of mine from work and me back in 2017. He was the one who first told me about Reddit, and I believe I didn't have my own account until I wanted to do YouTube. He wanted to play in a, quote, fake football league together, and that's pretty much all I use the account for. Reading through the deleted posts, it seemed absolutely ridiculous, which is why I said I assume that they were, quote, satire. Satire is not an appropriate word at all. Troll comments might be a better way to put it. Regardless, a lot of them were extremely offensive and gross, and I wasn't trying to pass them off as, quote, jokes, because they're not funny at all. Like I said in my tweet, I don't support Trump or his policies, and I don't support any of the things said in the Reddit comments that people are saying are my opinions. They are not my opinions at all, and I think they're gross. I would hope that everyone that watches me can easily see what I mean. I'm not even sure of legitimacy because the posts are deleted and I didn't even know they existed. The only comment that I've seen circulating that could have actually been me was a post regarding football players kneeling. It was not about Colin Kaepernick because it was a lot later. The comment was from over 3 years ago, and if it was me, it was just me being privileged ass because I wanted to watch football without worrying about actual things that mattered. I don't agree with that stance at all, and on top of that, I don't agree with almost anything I believed in 2018 or earlier. Like I said in my tweet, I had a lot of shitty, sheltered opinions when I was underage that was very quickly went away when I actually experienced life. Well, that's a little unusual. On one hand, we have the nameless and faceless IRL friend who he suggests but doesn't directly blame for writing those particular posts. And on the other hand, he says his opinions were all backwards because I grew up in a red state. Until I started doing YouTube, I got smart. And we know that's not true because, as I've taught you all, YouTube makes you more of a degenerate. So as I go through these, and I can't really find anything racist, there's nothing all that controversial. There's not even harsh language or anything like that. These are just your average Trump supporter. There's nothing, unless of course you're a complete wacko and think that anybody that disagrees with you or supports Trump is a member of the Third Reich. There's not inherently anything wrong with this. So I'm gonna take a page out of Dream's book and speculate, and a really, really thin speculation that I can never possibly prove. Let's just call it yup. As I read this, it does seem to have like a similar cadence to the way Dream writes. It kind of sounds like the Dream tweets I've read. By no means does that mean it's him, but hey, yup. Now, I'm not bringing these up to cancel Dream or anything like that. I don't know if I disagree with absolutely anything that's in it. And I'm not even bringing this up to say, oh, look, Dream's on my team. No, not at all. It's just the ability for him to lie and pander. And yes, I think he's lying. Do I have any proof? Absolutely not. But we're never going to have any proof of the autistic 12-year-old. I mean, the IRL friend that loves football. I mean, I hate to steal something from Nick DiOrio.
These people were born yesterday.
Wouldn't be the first guy.
Because they probably were.
He said to me, if you don't believe John's story and somehow you do believe this, you've got to be an idiot. I'll add to that. I think you're a stupid sack of shit. Now, why am I not to believe that this is the exact same behavior that John Swan exhibited? I mean, Dreams exhibited this behavior in the past when he tried to pass off a speed run, which was unanimously rejected by the speedrunning community as cheating. Respected member of that speedrunning community, Carl Jobs, put out this.
Very two items you needed to collect in order to reach the end were dropped at almost impossible rates. When combined, the probability of this happening is 1 in 20 sextillion.
Which coincidentally are the exact same odds it was that Dream wasn't a Trump supporter and wrote on Reddit about it. And what did John get in trouble for? Just doubling down and adding more lies to cover up for the other lie. That's exactly what we're seeing here. And by the way, a little note to what you saw, this whole thing could have been proved without a shadow of a doubt if that was a legitimate run for Dream, but he wouldn't turn over his folder that he used. He said he had accidentally deleted it, so there's no way to tell absolutely sure that he cheated, but you have to believe that he was lucky enough to win the lottery several times over. See, one of the things I could never stand about John is that he's pathologically dishonest, and this goes back long before the Dream incident. If he is presented with tons and tons of evidence that he's wrong or mistaken, he doubles down. In fact, the only thing that gets him to back off is public backlash, which I personally experienced with him. How is that different than what Stream's doing? And my experience with John goes all the way back to 2018 when we were in a group called the NCO, a group of commentators, and I saw this behavior over and over again in 2019 and 2020 when he really took off, which is why I was one of the only commentators that really didn't buy his story and thought that he was lying about the Dream incident. Here's the deal. I'm not buying John's story. After looking at it really close, really the last couple of years, it doesn't really change. It doesn't seem very plausible. All right. I do believe that you can come away with this. I do think you come away with this and you can believe it. And if you choose to believe it, you don't. And as Nick DiOrio said, Dream has every right to dismiss this. It kind of makes you wonder what these guys might say or do if this was something life or death or important. And just to be 100% clear, we don't know if that was Dream that is a Trump supporter or not. For all we know, it's true. And his IRL friend and him just shared an account to do fake football. Most people call it fantasy football. But it just reminds me so much of the original incident. It's dog ate my homework and it's completely and totally implausible. Oh, and the other reason's personal. Just in case I happen to be right one more time, I'm showing you that there's a pattern between Dream's behavior and John Swan's behavior, and that's pretty much all I'm showing, and I don't even think it's unique to those two. It's really frustrating sometimes too when you hear a big creator just lying and they have this huge support group, and like John had a pretty good, support group as well, and they're telling me you're nuts, and you're pointing out, like, this story makes no sense. You wouldn't buy it from anybody else but other than a creator that you love. it can make you question yourself. You can be like, am I crazy? Everybody's saying I'm nuts. But it's just fandom, and that's just the way fandom goes. And if you want to be a fan from Shot from the Point, I suggest you sub. I suggest you become a member so you can watch member streams. And you can watch new shows like this and podcast every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you join us. Hope you had fun. See you later.